The Tympole evolution line is a pretty interesting twist on Poliwag and its evolutions. We're rating them all, and it's pretty decent in battle. It's a pretty standard early game water type with a nice 64 in speed and balanced stats otherwise, though I do usually find its defenses to become an issue by the time it evolves level 25, but its moves are honestly really nice. Round, Bubble Beam, and Mud Shot are really strong at those levels. This is genuinely better than Oshawott, 3.5 stars. Then it is available before the second gym in Unova and Galar, but not until the post game in Unova sequels for whatever reason, but that does count here and slashes its score down to 3.5 stars. And conceptually, it's definitely the reskin of Poliwag, who was a tadpole that had a translucent belly and used its swirling intestines to hypnotize opponents. Then Tympole is also a tadpole who is really into music. I'm kidding, but it isn't that much deeper than that. It uses vibrations to produce a high-pitched sounds to communicate, which is really more animal adjacent than all that fantastical. I don't know what I gave Poliwag, but it probably wasn't high enough. 2 stars for Tympole's concept. Now, I'm just using the comparison as a reference. It doesn't actually affect the score, but with that being said, Poliwag looks way cuter. Tympole isn't bad though. I like its little headphone speaker things, and the musical note eyebrows are a nice touch. The main thing that weirds me out is the human skin tone on its face, which is nowhere to be seen on Seismitoad, who honestly doesn't look even related to this thing aside from the growths. But to be fair, Tympole is fairly cute. 3 stars, which will give Tympole the final score of 3 stars overall and a spot on the bottom 5. Palpitoad is my favorite in its line for absolutely no reason. We're rating them all, and it is also a big upgrade in battle, gaining the ground type and giving it one of the best type combos period with only one weakness. Its stats are also really well rounded with a bit higher HP and speed and a bit lower defenses. But as I said with Tympole, said defenses really start to become an issue by the time this thing evolves level 36. But really just its typing and move pool alone makes it a solid team member. Early Bubble Beam and Mud Shot, Muddy Water, Surf, or Bulldoze later on, it's pretty decent for sure. 3.5 stars. Its availability will also be 3.5 stars since they got screwed over by the Unova sequels and is sadly pretty much a regular tadpole frog thing in concept. Sure, it takes all these different aspects from frog's behaviors, but still more or less just an amphibian. See what I did there? Like for its speaker things. It does turn up the vibrations thing in a Pokemon fashion though, giving it the power to create earthquake-like vibrations on land. It's getting a bit better. 3 stars. In design, I couldn't tell you why, but I love this little goober. It is 100% an ugly Pokemon. I see that. I accept that. However, it's goofy in the best way. Its squished little face almost makes it seem like it's going the mischief or something out of old cartoons. But okay, yeah, outside of its little face, it is not a good looking Pokemon at all. You guys voted it shockingly low, and that's probably fair for this stumpy, lumpy little potato frog at 2.5 stars. Which, wait, no.
You can't keep getting away with it!
That's another 3.125 star Pokemon. Someone please free these guys from the bottom 5. Seismitoad seems like one of those Pokemon that you either love or just can't stand. We're rating them all, and that kind of sums up Unova pretty well, actually. But for real, Seismitoad is pretty solid in battle. Water Ground is famously a great typing, but its stat spread leaves a lot to be desired. Sure, 105 HP is good, but then its physical attack is 95 and its special attack is 85, which isn't great on its own as almost all of its good water moves are special. And sure, it does get some great physical moves, but even its defenses and speed are kind of locked in that, like, not horrible, but not good area. Its Swift Swim ability does help with that, but even with its boosted speed, it doesn't really hit hard enough to be a sweeper anyway. This thing really screams Gen 1 stat spread of decent at best and everything. 3.5 stars. Its availability is again gonna stay Tympole's 3.5 stars as its evolution levels are fine, but conceptually it does take a little step up once again. This is the Poliwrath of Gen 5, but this time it was intentionally designed as a more traditional frog-like evolution, which, yeah, it takes on all sorts of aspects from different frogs and toads, like the warts, the vibrational croaks for finding mates, and even the whole paralyzing liquid thing. But then it just kind of turns all of it up a notch to fit a Pokemon, with the speaker wart things now doubling as power boosting vibrational punching bumps or something. It's come a long way from Tympole, 3.5 stars. But I've never liked this thing's design at all, and before you scream Gen 1er at me, remember, I gave Poliwrath a 2.5, which I got yelled at a lot for. Seismitoad does portray its idea better this time around. This is very clearly a frog or toad with some dangerous bulbous wart things all over it. Now, I don't know if they really read as like poisonous or even as powerful vibrational things either. I don't think I really would have guessed either of those things just by looking at it, but there's just something about this Pokemon that creeps me out. It's oddly unsettling. 3 stars. So that will land Seismitoad the final score of 3.375 stars overall.